Hey, everybody out there. Welcome to part 2 of the tour of my production template in Ableton Live. And the reason we're having a part 2 here is because yesterday, as I feared, since that's the first time I ever did a web capture video, I did a few things wrong. So today, I want to go over a few things that I had yesterday that didn't work properly and show you how they really work. And then I also want to show you what I left out, which is my master effect rack here that I use. So the first thing that went wrong is since I didn't have automation in, I didn't get the envelopes. So you couldn't hear any of the effects that I was using. It just defaulted to the very last effect that I had in place. So every change I made sounded the same. Also, when I changed instruments, you only got the last instrument that I had in place. And since I wasn't recording all the audio, when I said, look, here's the drums, and I went through the drum set here, you didn't hear that, but that is the MT Power Drum Kit 2. I did that yesterday. Now you've got it. So yesterday I went through and showed what all of my tracks are. I have my labeling track, my drums bus with all the drums, the synth bus with all of my synths, the bass, and then my audio and vocals. Now, if you noticed, I have another little video or another little audio track right here. What I'm doing today is I have another audio track in and I'm resampling, so I'm getting all of the recording of everything that happens in the set today. Lesson learned, let's move on. So the things that I wanted to go back and cover were really the Afro DJ Mac effects racks and instrument racks, actually. So the first one was the risers, swooshes, all that good stuff. So you get stuff like this. But what you didn't get yesterday is when I was playing around with the effects, things such as as you can see, it's a lot more fun when you can actually hear what's happening with these things. So that is the Afro DJ Mac noises, risers, swooshes. Very cool thing. Get it if you can, because it really helps out with things when you're trying to produce fast. Now, another thing that I played around with yesterday was the Bro Step racks. And what you basically got was this, which in and of itself is cool enough. But what you're missing when I was playing around with the effects rack here is so as you can see, when you can actually see the effects working and hear what the effects are doing, it shows things off a little bit better. Now, also, I did that for the Afro DJ Mac Bro Step Rack 2, which was the bass, which is this. A lot of possibilities there. It's a really cool rack, and I just had to come back because I really wanted to show you what that can do since it didn't work out yesterday. Other things, no, the MTD I did, the MT Power drums I showed you. One another thing that was happening yesterday, I was trying to show you how versatile it is to have like the V station on 2 of my racks here. I'd play something, then try to show you a different sound, how easy it is just to pull up a different sound, and the different sound didn't come up. But today, yes, it will. So this isn't as big a thing because I'm pretty sure you got what I was trying to say there, but it makes a difference when you can actually see it working. Go figure. So yeah, I can pull up any of those. And the plus is it is a synth, so I can change any parameters, save my own presets. So I can do some sound design here, but this is all about writing fast. If you watched yesterday's video, you know that the reason I have this template is so that I can write and arrange fast, and I can deal with sounds and changing sounds and all that later. So I have the V station on the harmony and the melody track, and then over here on bass 2, I have the bass station from Novation and things like the Moog bass. But as I was trying to show yesterday, I can change that up. And that wasn't working out too well the way I was recording. Today, that is now fixed and everything is working the way it should. So that's the things I just demonstrated yesterday. It didn't work out. So now let me get to the one last thing that I didn't touch on yesterday, my master strip here. Now, it looks like a lot's going on here, and it is, but it's important to note that I have this stuff in play right now, and I can put stuff in, I can take stuff out, and this is more for, so I can hear while I'm writing and while I'm arranging what things could sound like. When I go to mixing, almost all of this, the EQ will stay in. The saturator will generally go in while I'm playing, but I'll generally pull it out before I mix. The mastering, the glue, bus, compression, sometimes that'll stay in, but it'll be very subtle if I'm mixing with that. The multi-band dynamics, maybe stay in, maybe not. The limiter is definitely just there so I get an approximation of overall volume. The limiter definitely comes out when I go to mixing. It's just in there in writing. Now, the utility at the end here, I have that in there for one reason, and that is while I'm mixing, I can pull this down to complete mono and see how my mix sounds and then pull it right back up. And it's an A/B just to make sure that my mix sounds good in mono as well as, yeah, I'm not going to get that right just now. It's just so that I'll know that it sounds good in stereo and in mono, which is a good way to test your mix to see if it works. So that's really what I have on the master track here. And like I said, some of it can stay, some of it can go. It's not always that I use every piece, but when I'm mixing, I'm definitely selective of what I use, and the limiter definitely goes out when it comes to mixing. So not as in-depth a video today as yesterday, but a part 2 just so I could show you how things work here for me. The things that I wasn't able to show yesterday. And I'm sorry, Afro DJ Mac. I know that I pushed people your way, and the stuff you make and the stuff I use here is just amazing. I just wasn't showing it off properly yesterday because being my first video like this, I just wasn't recording things properly. So now everybody out there, you can see what the Afro DJ Mac racks can do, and it's really cool stuff. So that is part 2 of my template tour. If you haven't seen part 1, just check in the notes under this video, and I will have a link to part 1, which is much more in-depth of how everything works. And that's Senator Jaiz. I am out. Cheers, everybody.